Today we will discuss regarding outsourcing, work-life balance, quality cycles. These three topics are covered in the human resource management. One by one we will discuss now. First of all, we will discuss regarding outsourcing. What is meant by outsourcing? What is the meaning of outsourcing? And how many types of outsources are there? And how outsource works? Uh, Outsourcing can be helpful to us how many ways? That and all we will discuss in the outsourcing concept. First of all, outsourcing is a business practice in which a company hires a third party to perform tasks, handle operations, or provide services for the company. Outsourcing is the business practice in which a company hires a third party to perform tasks. To perform tasks, the company has to be hire a third party company to handle their operations or services of particular company is nothing but outsourcing. Outsourcing business functions is sometimes called as contracting out or business processing outsourcing. Outsourcing company, which is known as the service provider or third party provider, they arranges for its own works or computer systems to perform a tasks or services either on site at the hiring company's own facilities or at external locations. Companies today can outsource a number of tasks and services nowadays. The outsourcing can be takes place a major trend in human resource over the past decades. In recent years, outsourcing HR related activities is the common and popular exercise which is adapted by both small and large scale companies. All the outsourced activities will be managed and administered by the external external firms on behalf of its clients. And in the outsourcing, they are doing the works oftenly informational technology services includes of informational technology services, programming, developing the programming and application developments, as well as they are giving the technical support also. They frequently outsource customer services and call services functions. Some of the companies can outsource other type of works as well. That includes manufacturing process, human resource tasks, and financial functions such as bookkeeping work or otherwise in related to the human resource payroll processing. Outsourcing can also involving using a large third party provider such as like IBM company. It is providing IT services to the other companies. And coming to the types of outsourcing, here we have three types of outsourcing will be there: onshoring, offshoring, nearshoring. Onshoring means relocating work or services to lower cost location in the country's own company's own country. Once again, onshoring is nothing but relocating the work or services to lower cost location in the company's own country. For example, company call centers may have been located in overseas. For example, here we are taking UK company is taking the outsourcing services from India. In onshoring situation, management may decide they had rather than, like, they are taking the services rather than the India, they have the calls answered domestically and UK itself. And in this particular situation also, outsourcing work will be taken from other country like India. Once again I will tell you, company is located in UK. It is taking the outsourcing services from India, but onshoring situation, management decided to take services from India. They are reduce the cost. They have to decide to take a service in their own country itself, UK itself, and the same time its works are taken by the India also. It is nothing but the onshoring. And offshoring. Offshoring means relocating work or services to third party provider or overseas. Once again, offshoring is nothing but relocating work or services to third party providers overseas. For example, UK based company may relocate its IT operations to India. And another type of outsourcing is nearshoring. In the nearshoring, relocating work or services to people in nearby, often bordering region and countries. For example, UK business nearshoring to Eastern Europe or American business nearshoring to Mexico. Once again I will tell you, nearshoring is nothing but relocating works or services to the people in near country, often bordering region and countries. For example, UK based company, it is taking a nearshoring to Eastern Europe. American based companies are nearshoring to take Mexico itself. These are the different types of outsourcing. And what are the reasons for going outsourcing? To reduce or control operating costs, to reduce the cost, or to make some control in the cost. For that purpose they are going to the outsourcing. Improving company focus, to develop their activities, and they have to improve their company performance, they have to take into the outsourcing. Gain access to world class capabilities, they are utilizing the resources all over the world, then they can gain or access the capabilities where they have. And maximize use of external resources. Another reason is maximizing the use of external resources. And another reason is sharing risks with a partner company. To reduce the risk, to share the risk, it is going for the outsourcing. These are the reasons it is going for the outsourcing. And how outsourcing works. Outsourcing is about managing the relationship more than service level agreements, and it's a partnership, not a purchasing projects. Maintaining and securing a trust relationship is essential in outsourcing efforts and is more complex than establishing service level and relationships. In outsourcing, they have a different stages to think and to made a decision in the outsourcing. In that first step they will take is the planning for outsourcing. Planning is the first step in the outsourcing. Here different reasons are grouped and the various issues related to the information management and resources management is taken effectively. Here different types of strategies and possibilities and the consequences they are analyzed. There is a complete study of organizational vision, structure, value chain, competencies, strategic and transformational tools they can apply in the planning stage. And after completion of first stage they will analyze another stage is the analyze. In this analysis stage they can focus mainly on the performance and cost. The cost of activity and the cost of failure of a project both are estimated in this stage. The standardization of both cost and performance is done in this particular stage. In this stage at least they can assess, they can evaluation of asset, they can assess the risk and they have determined the total costs incurred and here they will decide the pricing models and they can finalize the targets are completed in this particular analysis stage. Then they will have another step is the selection. In this selection, who are the service provider, they can done by the firm under this stage by doing of different types of qualifications analysis evaluation basis are determined. Lot of care is taken in this particular stage to determine the total cost of buying, short listening of service provider and final selection is done in this particular process stage. Ultimately, senior management review the entire process in this particular stage once again. And then next stage is negotiation. In this stage, a proper planning is done after negotiation on various issues are settled down. Preparation of term sheet is done and finally the negotiation takes place. And here a relationship is declared if everything goes as per the plan. And finally, final step is in the outsourcing stage, managing the relationship. It is the final step to build the relationship. There will be some modifications in the management style and a supervisory council is carried out over here. Different supervisory roles are carried out and they can perform, they can tackled or solutions are sought out in this particular relationship stage. They can modify all the activities as per the mutual understanding. And coming to the advantages of outsourcing. What are the advantages we will gain through the outsourcing? We will gain an advantage to facilitate better manpower. Better quality of manpower can be provided with the help of outsourcing of a firm. If the outsourcing firm is providing the better quality of manpower, we will gain more advantage. They also provide the information and practice related to the certain activities and tasks they can perform related to the organization. These firms can have an expertise in doing the different activities of HR as this their core business activity. And another advantage is boosts employee morale. Through the outsourcing, they can improve the morale of the employee and pursuing the strong culture in the organization. Certain employees and activities which are not aligned with the organization can be outsourced. And another advantage is minimizing the risk. To share the risk with others, third party, we will minimize the risk. And also firm which have the latest information on various updated laws of central and local governments, the third party by the organizations. These firms can be quite useful in order to avoid the costly lawsuits which could result from the employee side in case of these laws may not followed and implemented in the workplace. And other advantages: enhance the business efficiency, effective handling of business jobs, better time management and tax benefits, trained but skilled manpower available at very lower rates, and competitive advantage through greater productivity, increase focus on core competencies, sharing of business risk. These are all different advantages we will gain through the outsourcing. And coming to the disadvantages, here main disadvantage is loss of control. The control will be lost by the management to giving the work to the third party. Losing the management control of business functions means that you may no longer be able to control operations and deliverable of activities that you outsource. And here is another disadvantage: threat to confidentiality. Here we have to be made a confidential that has some threat. Some of the vital information of the company can be leaked to its competitor when these activities are outsourced. There is always a probability this information can be leaked from the side of outsourced firms. And another disadvantage is affects company's goodwill. Outsourcing is quite common to have layoff. Layoff means a temporary or permanent discharge of a worker or workers. When any activity is outsourced, the level of dissatisfaction among the remaining employees can be increased due to this practice. It will leads to the affect the company's goodwill. And another disadvantages like lack of communication will be happen over here. We have an delay of services will be there in the outsourcing. A contract confusion will be over there. A possibility of hidden costs, slow response time or delivery will be happening in this outsourcing, and reduced sales owing to the unsatisfied customers. So these are all the different dissatisfactions will have some situations in the outsourcing. And coming to the another concept, that is work life balance. What is the meaning of work life balance? Work life balance is a concept including proper prioritization between work and lifestyle. Work means career and ambition. Lifestyle means health, pleasure, family, friends, etc. Work life balance is a flexibility how we can make that the way we can make a work life balance. Work life balance is method which helps the employees of an organization to balance their personal and professional lives. Work life balance encourages employees to divide their time on the basis of priorities and maintain a balance by devoting time to family, health, vacations, and the organization. Along with all the priorities of personal, they can also concentrate, they can also make balance by making of a career, good career, business and travel. It is an important concept in the world of business as it helps motivate the employees and increase their loyalty towards the company. In the work life balance, we shown in the picture how the achievement and enjoyment will be takes place. Work, family, self and friends. We have to balance each and every activity in the personal life and the professional life of the employee. And what are the advantages in the work life balance? Improved loyalty and commitment. By doing of work life balance, greater commitment and loyalty of the employee can be gained. Their needs and requirements are understood by the employer. And another advantage is improved productivity. Improved performance and efficiency can be obtained at individual level, resulting from the greater commitment and loyalty, which will also boost the overall organizational productivity. And another advantage is reduced absenteeism. The problem of absenteeism can be reduced with the help of effective work-life balance, and the associated cost can be controlled. And another advantage in the work-life balance, reduced employee turnover. Effective work of life balance is the initiatives in an organization. It prevents employee turnover and thus different costs associated with the employee selection, induction programs and training are to be reduced. And another advantage is increased employee participation. In work-life balance also motivates the employee to participate in different productive activities in the organization. They offer their ideas and suggestions to employers for the betterment for their organization. And another advantage is improved attraction and retention of employees. The employer can become popular in the labor market and thus it will be attracting and retreating more talented candidates. These are all the advantages of work-life balance. And what are the guidelines that we will have for improving the work-life balance? Here some of the guidelines we have to improve the work-life balance is identify employees' needs. First of all, it is most important factor to know the various kinds of conflicts related to the work and home which are being faced by the employees. For this, employers should identify the employees with young child or older parents and evaluate their home situations along with evaluating the work related consequences like amount of overtime worked and the number of days of absent due to their family commitments. These and all they have to observe, and they can identify the needs of the employee. And then we can the another guideline is the focus on the traditional culture. Traditional culture means belonging or relating to the change. In order to the promote work-life balance in the organization, the employer's focus should be on the organizational culture. Organization culture should be flexible enough to improve the work-life balance. Each and every employee should be eligible for the flexibilities in the organization, and they should not be treated as disloyal or poor performers. They should be made feel that not only their presence, but their presence and the work results are crucial for the organization. That they have to think. And another guideline is the improve personal and organizational efficiency. Ensuring the smooth functioning of work part in very critical to accomplish the work-life balance. In order to control the stress and reducing the work hours with the similar level of productivities. The skills such as effective handling of information, time management, prioritizing, and delegation become quite vital in this particular situation to improve the personal and organizational efficiency. And another guideline is inform and train managers. Designing work-life policies is not sufficient to bring a work-life balance in the organization. The consistent and effective implementation of such policies is required for it. A special training is required for the managers to make them understand the benefits available to the employees and to make them able to counsel employees for choosing a suitable plan. Performance appraisal and annual training plans should be included in the work-life issues. These are all the different guidelines for the improving of the work-life balance. This is the information regarding the work-life balance, and we will talk about the another concept is the quality circles, QC. What is the quality circles? A quality circle is a priority management technique that elicits the help of employees in solving problems related to their own jobs. Employees who participate in the quality circles usually receive training in formal problem solving methods like brainstorming, Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis means it is a statistical technique in decision making used for the selection of a limited number of tasks that produce a significant overall effect. A quality circle is a volunteer group composed of members who meet to talk workplace and service improvement, make presentation to their management with their ideas. It enables the enhancement of the lives of workers, can create harmony. How means work they can do happily together without any big problems, and they will have an high performance. The concept of quality control originally began in the United States and was exported to Japan in the 1950s. They meet regularly to identify, analyze, solve the problems that arises during the course of their work and their association with the organization. Quality circles build manual trust and create greater understanding between the management and the workers. And what are the objectives of quality circles? Quality circles have some objectives: improvement in quality of product manufactured by any organization. The basic objective of quality circle are to develop, utilize human resource effectively to develop quality products, improve the quality of work life, and sharpen and utilization of an individual's creative abilities. To give a chance to the employees to use their wisdom and creativity. To fulfill the self-esteem and motivational needs of employees. To improve the quality of work life at employees. To encourage team spirit, cohesive culture among different levels and sections of employees. Promote personal and leadership development. Increase employees' motivation. These are all the objectives of quality circles. And what are the advantages of regarding the quality life cycle? Quality circles. In the quality circles, we have some advantages related to the work group, management, and organization. Related to the work group, what are the advantages we'll have in the quality life cycle, quality circle? Related to the group, quality circle have an advantage, an optimistic atmosphere which foster team spirit is established in a work group. Members start feeling as a part at the company, which gives way to better job satisfaction related to the quality circle. Quality circle enhances the moral self-esteem at the members as they feel that their ideas are vital. The members at the group develop a sense of dedication towards their group as well as towards their work. The members of the group can secure their jobs. The way to resolve the group conflicts are also formulated. These are all the advantages related to the work group regarding the quality circles. Related to the management, what are the advantages? Means quality circles brings relief to the management by solving the problem before it become worse. And better quality and enhanced output are secured by the managers, and management faces lesser number of issues relating to grievances, complaints, unpunctuality, absenteeism, and other issues which adversely affect the productivity. The training and experience at quality circles indents the knowledge and develop the skills at the managers and their subordinates. It gives a way to opening and smooth functioning at various channels of communication. These are all the advantages related to the management regarding quality circles. And related to the organization, what are the advantages? Means one work performance of entire organization is enhanced, which advance the process of achieving organization goals. And every person concerned with the organization make effort for the improvement in some or the other aspect. And the moral self-confidence of the workers is enhanced, and the focus at everybody is on working thoroughly and enhancing quality. The execution and maintained at quality circle is com- comparatively cost effective, thus saves lot of funds. There is a better synchronizing, harmonization and coordination between the management, the group of workers. And finally, the worker have better satisfaction and hence the number of human resource complaints declines. These are the different advantages we will get by the organization will get by the quality circles. And coming to the suggestions for the effective use of quality circles. Obtain managerial support and involvement for the program. Identify goals for the programmed to solve all problems in the organization. Make sure managers realize that any change will take time. Inform all employees about the philosophy and goals of the program. Keep the programmer voluntarily. Provide training for the managed as coordinators. Implement the suggestions made by the employees. Give recognition for employees' efforts. These are the suggestions we will be having with effective use of quality circles. And what are the techniques of quality circles are there? The methods of techniques which are mainly used by the quality circles to discuss different problems are as follows. These methods are brainstorming process, cause and effective diagrams, sampling and charting methods that are we will explain now. Brainstorming process. In this method, a liberal atmosphere is carried in order to pursue the members to come up with innovative ideas. There is no room for criticism in such a liberal atmosphere. Every suggestion is recorded sincerely as the motive is to extend a pool of several suggestions. At a large stage, pros and cons of various ideas are considered prior to reaching at an ultimate result. Here we have an example WAR-ID for brainstorming. They are taking the ideas and suggestions from large. They are getting number of opinions. They are made. There no criticism will be involved in this particular situation. Every suggestion is recorded who are involved in the brainstorming process. In that, they will analyze stage of pros and cons of various large ideas. In that, they will take some of the best ideas. In that, they will take one ultimate result. This is nothing but the brainstorming process by analyzing the taking of the problem solution. And another one is the cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram, members are required to discover the causes for the problem under the consideration. They are also required to recognize a significant effect on the problem due to this cause. This is followed by the recognition of other causes and then their significant effects. Finally, when this cause and effect relationship is represented through a diagram, it takes the form of fishbone. Hence, it is also known as the fishbone diagram. Here we have an example cause and effect diagram. Here different causes it will affects the situation. Here we are taking materials formulation parameters, progress parameters, analysis methods, and it will have different causes and it has different effects, and it will be like a fishbone, the cause and effects, and they are considering all the problem under the different causes they are discovering, and they are recognizing the significant effort on the problem die in this particular cause, and they are also recognizing the other causes then their significant effort they have to be fulfilled to made a significant effect. Finally, the cause and effect relationship they have to be made into the diagram like this. And another one is the sampling and charting method. In the sampling and charting method, the members are required to scrutinize the various events, their results, and the nature of their consequences. They graphically represent their positive or negative findings, either sequentially or though some other relationship in order to show a clear picture of the problem. In sampling and charting method, we are showing an example and diagrammatically. The members are scrutinize various events. Here we have three events. In these three events, they are scrutinized 1, 2, 3, 4, and second event 5, 6, 7, 8, and third event 9, 10, 11, 12. The graphically represented all of these three various events and different consequences which will results that we are taking into the graphically they are into the positive and negative findings sequentially. Then some of the others related are shown in the clear. Here 2 and 5, 8 and 10 sample has to be taken in these different events. This is the example we have shown in the sampling and charting method. Thank you.